G'day Minecrafters, and how you going? Steve-O here with another video, and today I wanted to cover some more redstone, or some more basics of Minecraft. This one's not so much focused around redstone, this part is, but the earlier parts are not. So I wanted to focus on mob spawners, and more so the mob spawners in the overworld, not the end or the nether, as they are a little bit different, as opposed with like blazes and endermen. Although you don't get enderman spawners, you know what I mean, farming endermen. So essentially I'm going to be focusing on the main mobs. I will add creepers to the mix just to show a bit about their health and crushing, but for the most part I'll be focusing for my tests on cave spiders. So first thing you need to note about a spawner, whether in the nether or in the real world, doesn't really matter, is that within 16 blocks mobs will spawn. If you are within 16 blocks of a rounded area around that thing, above, below, left, right, whatever, north, south, east, west, if you're within 16 blocks, the mobs will spawn. If you're external to that, they won't spawn. Now the area they spawn in is this green area here. The green area is 8 by 8 by 3. So 3 high, and then 8 by 8. And as you notice, it's not an odd number, so the point of the central point is calculated by looking at the block where the spawner is and finding the lowest point, the lowest x and z coordinate. Now you notice with an x and z coordinate, like of any block, it doesn't matter what block, but whenever you're on a block, you notice it's not just 107, it's 107.3, and as I move left and right, it's, you know, left, less and more. And so you find the lowest possible point towards 0, rather than being, if it's like if you imagine a graph, like if you had a graph and it had 4 directions, you have minus and positive, you have everything going towards 0. 0 is the middle point, and whatever's the closest to 0 is the point where it's going to spawn. That's the 8 by 8 by 3's midpoint, the lowest point of all of that, which is right there. So that's why it looks a bit oblong. Now this larger rectangle is 17 by 17 by 9. Going from the midpoint, it's all odd numbers, so it's fairly central. It just looks out of place from the green. And this is the check area. Mobs cannot spawn. The mobs from this spawner cannot spawn unless there are less than 6 mobs within that area. So for example, I've got a working example up here, in which if we have 6 spiders, let's close the door. 4, 5, 6. Turn the light off, and no mobs will spawn. Even though there's a spawner there, these 6 mobs are all within that radius, and it's not going to work. Now it takes between 10 and 40, just under 40 seconds. So between 10 and just under 40 seconds for mobs to spawn. And when those mobs are, for example, out of that radius, more mobs will spawn, and that's a constant. So this will continue to update and look for an opening to spawn more mobs, and it will wait till there's less than 6. So if you found a mob spawner, the best thing you can do is, rather than kill all the mobs, if there's 6, try and trap them and then disable it and then kill them, rather than continue to kill them and trying to battle your way through. So let's get out of here and talk about some methods of collection. Now the hardest of all the mobs to collect are the cave spiders, and that's why I'm focusing on them. You notice the water channel, which is all lit up, just so that you can see mobs will still spawn, but not so much, not as much. Mob spawners need about a light level of 8 or less to be able to work. So this doesn't quite work, but they can spawn in that. So, but they'll be up to 3, I believe. I've never seen more than 3 spawn from this. A combination of the light from here and the light from below. They'll continue to spawn, but not as much, unless this is on. So you notice, I'm not sure if you've done it before, but cave spiders are the hardest to to, I guess, collect or take into one place, because they are able to climb and because they are so small. They're a half a block high, and so able to get around and through most obstacles. So, but however, a guy named LB on the server that I do a Let's Play series on a server of YouTubers, and he's a member of that server, and he came up with a design like this one, which allows for easy mob movement for spiders, especially. It's made for spiders, and he's basically got designs for all types of spawners, but the spider one, this is his design. I'll leave a link to his channel, in that it allows you to take them upstairs, sort of thing, round and round and round until you get them to a point where you can use them. Alright, so now we'll look at the crusher that I've been meaning to show you guys. Now keep in mind when looking at this, I haven't designed it to be a complete be-all and end-all system. It's not made to mix cave spiders with zombies, creepers and skeletons. I'm putting that out there right now, so that it's not misunderstood. I merely want to show the difference and show that there is the ability to, with only simple modifications to the redstone, create a system that can either crush one or the other. Now you'd have to modify the system completely to be able to do both at the same time. Okay, so we'll put it in 3 types of mobs. Now obviously you don't get creepers from a spawner, but I wanted to compare the HP because they do have the exact same amount of HP. Keep in mind also the zombie has a little bit of an armor rating, so it is actually impossible to crush him any more than we will crush him without killing him. And also to note that you can't get him with one hit to go. That's just the way it is. So what happens here is all of the 3 of them are crushed for 95 ticks. At which point they're down to half a heart. Now, so the zombie has a bit of an armor rating, like I said, so he needs to be hit twice to negate his armor. Now this here is to open that thing there, because I've added a little gate system, I guess, to stop the mobs, for example, from continuing to come through. Because the biggest problem that you would face with this system is having mobs, more mobs coming in after you crushed it and mixing with your recently crushed one. So you need some kind of system in place to do that. So cave spiders need 55 ticks in order to be completely crushed, whereas the normal, your regular run-of-the-mill creeper, zombie or skeleton only needs 95 ticks. It needs 95 ticks. Not only. So let's run this real quick. I'm gonna create. It's not the system you would use. This is beyond. This is not even close to what you would use for a cave spider. But let's just do it for the sake of science, and for using a uniform system. So now he's down to a stage where I can one-punch him. Just for redstone's sake, that's how it is. I'll have this world up for download so you can compare the ticks to yourself. If you were to, the best way I've found to kill cave spiders is from above. The best thing you can do is have them sitting on half slabs with iron bars around it, so you can hit them through the iron bars, which don't touch or aren't connected to the half slab. Let me just show you that real quick. We'll grab a few where are you? Let me find it. Something like this. Now you'd obviously need to have things along the side to keep them from moving around, but you would essentially have to hit them from below, like kind of like this, and have obviously a 1 block height area in which pistons push down as opposed to across or up. So the crushers come from above and push down. So you crush them, you seal the way they came in, crush them, punch them once, open the door, and you're all good to go. So that's how you would do a cave spider spawner. That's how I've done mine anyway. That's the way that I've found helps That's the easiest way to do it anyway. There's plenty of ways you can do it though. There's plenty of ways to skin a cat, and I'm not going to tell you what the best way is, but I'm going to give you my recommendation if you were to ask. I might do a video on other types of spawners, but I have some friends who have done some really good nice ones, which I may refer you to anyway. I've got, like for example, the server we are on, we have a really nice blaze spawner, which a blaze spawner system, which was done by Divey, and that one works really nice. So I might link you to his video if you want to learn how to do that. But otherwise, I mostly wanted to go over the logistics of the spawner and the ticks required to crush each type of mob, because it is important. It basically works from half a second per half heart. So if you're doing 55 ticks, as I was saying, you're taking off 5.5 hearts of health from a mob that has 6 hearts, which is why it works. Now you have to also take into account the torches on your system. These repeaters just elongate that signal, and this is just a basic RS null latch. So yeah, make sure you take those things into account. In the meantime, I just wanted to cover the basics, and I hope this has helped you. If it has, leave a like, leave a comment, things like that. I love to be able to add the basics, and even if it hasn't helped you, but you think it's of merit, like it so that other people can find it. Because that also helps people who are learning the basics of the game. Because there are so many people I've found who don't know the basics. It's hard to find a good video to cover all the basics that explains everything you need to know, without having to read a lot on the wiki and such. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support I've received in all the tutorials I've created, and hope you guys will stay tuned for the next tutorials, which will hopefully be a little bit more than the basics of a mob grinder. I've been really busy, and I hope that you forgive me for that. In the meantime, stay classy, and I'll catch you later. See ya.
Got a little Swedish there.